Okay, I'm not seeing it on my... There it is. Okay. Okay, so I'm streaming on YouTube only today, and I'm in a different area today, working on my iPad. The 2025 RefToons calendar is now available for pre-order right now. So we're taking pre-orders, and it's on sale through the end of Labor Day, which is Monday, September 2nd. It's on kind of a $2 off, basically. So you can get your wall calendar for $10, and there's also a desk calendar available. Oh, hold on, I need to put the link in Facebook here to the stream. All right. So yeah, there's a desk calendar available as well. Those are shipping now if you would like a desk calendar. But the wall calendars, we'll have to order those from the print company, and we'll get those sent out soon. Let's see here. We've got a couple people in the chat. Zather, hi. Lydia, hello. Welcome, welcome. Today I'm going to be working on this calendar here. Zather is from India. Excellent. And so is Lydia. Cool. All right, so the link is in the description if you would like to check out the calendar pre-order. So this is what I have for the cover art. I'm just using my little iPad to draw this, and I'm out here in what is now our heat press room, because the kids are doing school in the house, and it's a little bit noisy. So I thought I'd come out here and have some peace and quiet. This computer, the fan is running quite crazy, so if the sound of that fan gets to be too much, also I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. I'm not sure how well that's going. If the fan gets to be too much, let me know. I'm not sure. I might be able to move my mic away from the computer a little bit more. But if you don't hear it, then that's great. So I'm trying to figure out what all my layers are right here. So I'm turning the opacity down on all of them. So now I can start inking. So I'll go over here and I'll create a new layer right here. I can grab my brush pen, make sure I have the correct brush. RefToons ink brush. Yes, I do. Actually, what's this rough pen? Oh, no, I don't like that one. That might be good for like scratching out some old text or something like that. But for now, I'll use the RefToons ink brush, and I don't want to use brown, I want to use black for the inks. Make sure I'm on the right layer again. And I'm just going to start with the calendar here. Ooh, that's big. I have some chickens here. So the characters on here are Luther and Katharina von Bora, his wife. They had basically their own little farm and brewery. So they had chickens, eggs, and things like that. So that's partly why the chickens are there. Also, I own some chickens, so I like chickens. What can I say? They give me eggs. I'm going to create these as a few separate layers, just in case I want to. So I'm going to draw through this. So this is going to be one layer here. Actually, I might just do the whole thing under here. That way, if I want to use this as like a little animation, I can create a little promotional animation for the calendar. I can do that. And then so I'm drawing through the chickens. Those will be on a separate layer. That way I can move them around if I need to, and animate them and whatnot. Oh, one of my daughters is trying to get my attention from the window. What do you need?
I have something to eat.
Oh, what time is it? Oh, not right now. Just wait for a while. They just had breakfast. Now they want something to eat. Okay, I'm gonna just copy this too. Actually, I think I have some shortcuts. There we go. Bring it over here. And then actually I'm gonna shrink it down a little bit just to be consistent. Actually, I think I need to squish it a little bit. Now I need to draw the 4. And that's what the 25 is going to be covering up. So So I'm just kind of trying to figure this out as I draw it, kind of with an idea in my head of how it should go. Following that plan. Get rid of those lines there. I have it on vector brush, that's why it's not necessarily erasing exactly where I erase, because each thing is actually built up of a bunch of nodes, and so it's erasing each node, but I can resize these as big or as small as I want without losing the quality of the line. Excuse me. So now I have this drawn. Actually, I think that's too thick, so I'm gonna have to go back in and redo that. Oh, actually, I'll do it this way. So see here, it's erasing the nodes to each point. So I want that to come down right there, actually. Instead of being that thick. Okay, let's fix that line. Drink. How's everyone doing today? A beautiful Thursday morning. Nice and overcast here. But temperatures have been dropping a bit to be a bit cooler, so that's nice. In the 60s and 70s here now. All right. So those I need to merge this layer down with the layer below so that they're all one layer. Now I'm just going to add these paper lines here, page lines. Now as soon as I finish this cover, I'm going to be ordering our stock of calendars from the print company. And the pre-order is actually available right now. You can check the link in the description below the video here. That'll take you to reftoons.com, where you can get that discounted pre-order of the calendar. Okay, I almost started drawing the chickens on that layer, but let's move that up, create a new layer there, and now let's get this guy drawn. Curious chickens. Chickens are so curious. Man. Our chickens are just crazy. We don't let them out of their run. We don't let them free range very often, because we used to have a pair of Cooper's hawks in the woods right behind our house, and they would kind of stalk the chickens. But now we have like 3 or 4 of those hawks back there, and I'm just afraid to let the chickens out because I don't really want to clean up the mess if the hawks get them. That's right. I just don't want to clean up the mess. That sounds heartless. But it's true. Okay, so I'm going to actually turn this layer off so I can see what I'm doing here. You see that I gave it kind of a messed up little leg and foot there. And actually, this actually helps me to see that I didn't actually have it sketched out quite properly. So I'm going to have to raise the chicken up a little bit. In order to have the proportions be right with the rest of the image. So see, he's coming past the book here. He needs to be behind it. So I just need to raise him up about to there. And then let's see. Yeah, that's a little more believable of him being her. Sorry, it's a hen. Being behind the calendar there. All right. Okay, and then I'll draw this other chicken on another separate layer. Oops, I don't want a pixel layer, I want a vector layer. That's the wrong tool there. All right. I'll decorate this one up a little bit more since it's in the foreground. They always have those tufts of feathers in the back there, and sometimes they have like one big feather that sticks out, depending on if they've molted or not. Get the leg drawn and get the little rings around the leg there. They have a claw in the back and that helps them grab their roosting bars. And when we do let our chickens out of their run and let them kind of free range around our yard, we have let them kind of dig up our garden, which reminds me our garden has failed this year. Probably mostly due to ourselves being terrible gardeners, not taking care of it as much as we should. But it's just what happens. Alright, so we've got our two chickens drawn, both on separate layers, just in case I need to move them around later. 1, 2, and the old calendar, which is going to be replaced by this new one here. And I will also put that on a separate layer, even though Katie is holding on to it. Put it on a separate layer, just above this layer. Use my vector layer. And there we go. Draw that side line there. I like to give it a little bit of variance in the line weight. I feel like that just makes it a little more interesting. I'm also very much inspired by Bill Watterson of Calvin and Hobbes. I like the way he does his line weights with his ink brush. Especially his trees. I've always liked his trees. Those are some of my favorites. Do you guys have any favorite comic strips that you have enjoyed over the years? I really like Calvin and Hobbes. I always enjoyed, like, I would read some Garfield comics and things like that in the newspapers. And then I would go to the library and get the Garfield books, but they were never really that funny to me. I think I just liked looking at them because they were comics. What else? Oh, Foxtrot. I used to read Foxtrot in the newspaper. My grandparents would get the Sunday paper and it would be all in color. The comic section would be all in color. That was very exciting to me. Far Side. Those are always hilarious. I did enjoy the Phantom comics as well. They were nice. It was nice to have like some adventure comics in there that you could read in the newspaper. I've always been a big fan of just adventure stories and things like that. So those were always fun to read. Then as I got older, I got into graphic novels and have really enjoyed a lot of various kinds of graphic novels. Bone is a really good one that I have enjoyed. It's another adventure story. Get this 5 drawn. This is going to be the sheet that's covering up the 24. Again, I'm creating these all on separate layers just in case just in case I need to use them later on for like promotional purposes and like, I don't know, animate them coming in to the scene or something. Or like some sort of parallax animation or something. So I made that line too thick. I like to make the thinner lines be like the top lines most of the time. Sometimes I'll do like thicker lines on top, but most of the time I like the thinner lines on top, thicker lines on the bottom. Gives a little weight to the image. Visual weight, I should say. Not physical weight. It's not that it's heavier, but it just adds some weight to it as you're looking at it. Whoops. And I totally messed this up. There's a weird bulge right here that I'm going to get rid of. Again, I'm using a vector layer, and so each line is created out of all of these all of these different nodes. Whoops. I wonder if I can just select. No, I can't. I'm using Clip Studio Paint on an iPad with the Apple Pencil. Again, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments, in the chat. This is live, so I've had people hop into the live streams not realizing it was live, and then they were saying stuff in the chat, and then I answered them, and they were quite shocked. It's kind of funny. I think I'm going to add a little bit more weight to this line here, just to better match the 5 over here. Take a drink here. Actually, I'm on a new computer, so I don't even know if the microphone's working. If you can hear me, let me know. I just set up the streaming software like right before I went live, so I'm out in my screen press room. I'm usually out in our homeschool room where my regular desk is. But all the kids are doing school out there, and I needed a quiet place, so let me know if you can hear me, because sometimes I set my microphone up, I see the things, the levels moving up and down when I talk, but occasionally it's not actually going through. So if you're watching, just say I can hear you in the chat, please. Okay, so now for these two, I'm going to put them on a separate layer as well. We'll start with Katharina von Bora. The inking is the final line art stage when I'm making these comics. And sometimes it's tracing my pencil work, and other times it's actually forming the finished artwork based on a very loose sketch. Oh, I just Squirrely Joe's posted their the comic that I did for them just now on X. Squirrely Joe's, they have really good coffee. This stream is not paid promotion for them, just so you know. I just really like their coffee. Actually, I know a way of testing whether my sound is working or not. I can just go to my page here. There we go. It works. Why didn't I think of that before? Alright, I turned the music up a little bit. And now I'm listening to hear if it's okay. Alright, I think that works. There's one time I forgot I had music going, so it was like full blast and nobody could hear what I was even saying. I was answering questions, but nobody could understand. I'm going to draw her hands. Let's see. So it would be like this. Yeah. I'll draw her hands, but then I'll make them also on a separate layer. I'm actually going to turn this layer off so I can see what I'm doing here. And that means I need to erase this. Start again. Okay. And I'm actually going to draw the rest of her hand. Actually, wouldn't be like that. It would probably be more like that. Same with right here. But I'm going to draw through the paper. Because, like I said earlier, I'm going to try to see if I can use some of these elements separately as like animated promotional pieces here. So I'm actually going to have to draw through this and guess where the inks are going to go. Well, I suppose I could actually sketch it out. I'll sketch it out beforehand. Create a new layer, grab my pencil brush, and just kind of sketch out where I think it's gonna go here. Do it like that. There we go. And then I'll need her arm with her elbow here, goes like that, as she's pulling the paper here. So I'll draw her separately, then I'll draw her hands, the tops of her hands separately, so that if I need to, those can be above the paper. Probably creating more work than I need to on this. But I think it's important to at least have these available for the option of doing something animated with it. There we go. And this part's going to be just all black here. Color that in. There we go. Got Katharina von Bora, and I actually don't like the way her chin is sticking up like that, so I'm just going to remove that, keep it like that. That's better, personally. Man, throat's getting dried out. Okay, now for Luther. Again, I'm going to draw his whole thing, and then I'm going to come back and draw some hands over top of her. What in the world? How come it's not coming down? There we go. New vector layer. Alright, Luther, you mischievous monk. Yeah, that'd be be a good title for a children's book. The Mischievous Monk. It's all about Martin Luther and his shenanigans. Smuggling Katie out of the convent in a, what was it? A herring barrel? Pickled herring barrel? Yesterday I recorded a how to draw video for someone, and it was Luther and Calvin. Thinking I might do some of those, but a little bit more in depth than what I did with those videos, and add those to the RefToons YouTube channel, because that was pretty fun to do, actually. Shoulder, arm, Luther and his classic hammer. He will forever be known as the guy with the hammer. I never actually learned about Martin Luther in school or anything. Did any of you who are watching right now? I don't remember ever learning about the Reformation in school or in church growing up. It wasn't until about 2015, 2016-ish. I started learning about it, and that's when I started drawing about it. Because it was so fascinating to me and crazy that I never actually learned about it. Or maybe I did and I just wasn't paying attention. I'm not sure. Alright, so he's behind there. Okay, and actually, I might actually combine all of these. I'm going to create a group. How do I do that? Layer. I think actually I just need to create a folder here and then drag them in. Oops. There we go, now they're in the folder, and I can duplicate that folder, turn that one off. Okay, now I'm going to delete I'm going to create one image, but I'm going to keep all those separated layers in this other group that I hid. That way I can use those later if I need to. I'm just going to go in and delete the things that I don't need. And then I'll clean up those edges here. Okay. Turn her opacity down. I'm actually going to turn off all these under layers. That's making it a little muddy. Okay. Now, actually, I think she actually needs to move. Or angle a little bit, maybe. Okay. That'll work. Excuse me. I do need this. And this gone. Oh wait, nope. Just right up to there. Go back to her layer. And it's going to be all this junk here. I'll have to recolor some of that black there. Oops. Wrong tool. There we go. Go. Take that off the chickens. And then once I get all of this kind of fixed up, I'll flatten this into its own layer. And then I'll ink it. Or not ink it, that's what I just did. I'll color it as one. Okay, so here we have that. Now I can rasterize that layer into a pixel layer. Maybe I can't. Oh, I have to merge selected layers. There we go. Now it automatically becomes a raster layer. And I'm just gonna fix up some things here. Looks good. Looks like how I want it, except right here. There. Alright. So actually I see that I need to add all the black to Luther's stuff, and I just do that like this. It's got a little bit of a shine to it. Same with this jacket here. I'll go around. I'll add some buttons here. Try to go around some of these areas and give like a little halo effect there, so you kind of see the structure of the jacket. Excuse me. Alright, we got all that done. Oh, I did forget. Let me find one of my sketch layers that has the stuff that the chickens pecking at. Undo, undo, undo. There we go. Give him a shadow here as well. Her. Sorry. There we go. And let's see, I'm gonna sign it. All right, that is the inks for the cover. I'll take a break right now, and I'll come back later in a little bit. Probably won't be too long. I just have to refill my water, go inside, get some cooler air for a little bit because it's hot out here. And then I'll be back to color this thing. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I will see you in a little bit.